We know that board games can seem a bit daunting when you first pick them up. So, we've teamed up with board game publisher Asmodee to offer hints and tips on some of the best digital board games around. This week, we're looking at Colt Express, a game where you play as a bandit robbing a moving train. The game's tutorial's pretty easy to understand, but here are a few extra bits of info to make sure you walk off with the gold. Special abilities. Though the core rules of the game apply to every character, don't forget that each character has a unique skill. For example, you can only shoot characters horizontally through the doors of carriages or across the roof. However, choose to play as Tuco and you can also shoot vertically through the roof of carriages. Django can push characters back a carriage when shooting them, and Doc can draw an extra card at the beginning of each round. They all have a skill, so keep these perks in mind when you're strategizing, and they can really give you the edge during the game. Go for the Gunslinger reward. The player who fires the most bullets gets an additional cash bonus, which can help you win the game. So if you've got fire cards in your hand, use them. Not only will you stick a null bullet in their deck, you might wind up with an extra stack of cash at the end of the game as a reward. Don't forget to loot. We know it's easy to get caught up fighting your fellow bandits, blasting your 6-shooter and duking it out like the Lone Ranger. But don't forget to grab the loot. Getting the most cash is the name of the game, so you need to make sure you're heading towards the purses and gems and valuables to give yourself the best chance of winning. Gems are worth more, so make sure you grab them. Strong boxes, of course, hold the biggest rewards. Which reminds me. Marshal the Marshal. The Marshal is the lawman on each train. He often appears in the locomotive along with the strong boxes. So, to grab the big bucks, you're going to need to get the Marshal out of the way of the strong boxes. Use your Marshal cards to move him from the strong boxes so you can get into the carriage and nab them. Also, if you can direct him towards your opponent's carriage, where you can watch as he starts opening fire on your enemies, all the better. Get where you're going. So generally speaking, you want to head towards the locomotive at the end of the train for bonuses and the strong boxes. This means using move cards, which allow you to jump one carriage per card. As a result, it can take quite a while to move down the train, especially if you're getting pushed back by the occasional punch. However, if you climb onto the roof, you can actually hop to any carriage you like with a single card, letting you run straight for the locomotive where the sweetest treasure lies. This is often a very effective move, especially if you're right near the end of the game and you need to make a dash for the cash. If you have any tips of your own for Colt Express, chuck them in the comments below and join us next week where we'll have another tips video for another digital board game. Thanks for watching.